Hello, my name's Tom, and I'll be doing my P1 and P2 tasks today. P1, identify how two organizations plan recruitment using internal and external sources. My two businesses will be large corporation chain McDonald's and my school, Shiplake College. Before anything, even when they start to send out kind of job invites, they have to go through the recruitment planning. So first of all, they have to find out what is the reason for this vacancy. Um, is the business got larger? Do we need more staff to make the business run more effectively? Is this kind of has there been a death or sickness of an old employee, maternity, etc. It can be a variety of things, and they have to figure out, is it worth getting this? Is it worth filling this spot? Um, then they have to find out the decision to recruit. So, as I said before, the loss of a past employee, or anything like that. Business has got bigger, needs more staff. It can be so many reasons, but yeah, it depends on the business and how how big they are, how much staff they have, and of course if any staff are leaving. Um, Internal recruitment. So that's a kind of recruitment that happens within the business. So somebody that's already an employee to the company, either McDonald's or Shiplake, will get alerted that there's some sort of promotion going, and they will go for the job. A few number of employees, and one of them will get it. Um, so it's someone who, yeah, okay, and so the fourth option is external sources of recruitment. So for example, Shiplake might use a might advertise on a teacher training website, consultants, agencies. They want to obviously they want to be advertising in the right kind of places, so kind of upper end teacher kind of training sort of thing, not like job center and stuff like that. Um, The only negative of external sources of recruitment is that they actually can be quite expensive. This can be down to I mean, because a lot of these agencies they find their teachers online, and they actually pay. It takes to find these teachers actually costs them the money. So the company, the agency that you have to contacts you will actually be asking for money for this member of staff. Um, the fifth thing they have to consider is the cost and time of the external sourcing, because actually the amount of time this can take costs the business a lot of money. Um, Also, external sources of equipment often don't last long. They are often part-time positions, and this kind of so talking about Shiplake, this would actually if this they found a teacher through agency, they would actually have to pay again for another teacher to come over, because it would only be a part-time contract. So in actual fact, it's going to be costing the business, or McDonald's or Shiplake actually a lot more money, because it's not a full time position, and it's going to be a constant cycle of finding an agency, um, paying them, getting a teacher leaving, and it can work sometimes, but a lot of the time it's actually just not financially doable for the company. Um, my P2, explain the impact of the legal and regulatory framework on recruitment and selection activities. The senior management, okay. So I'll be talking about a few UK and EU legalizations. So the first one I'll be looking at is the Sex Discrimination Act of 1995. Um, this basically means that you cannot discriminate male or female because it's not. So you can't have women doing the hard jobs and men not doing the hard jobs, or the other way around. It has to be completely equal. Both men and women must have the equal chance for the job, and when they get the job, then they will have um, they will have equal rights at the business, and they're treated with respect. This is also so the Race Relations Act of 1992 means that you cannot discriminate, or much like it says in the Sex Discrimination Act, it basically is talking about black, white, Asian. You can't discriminate upon those factors. So if a white person and a black person are going for a job, you couldn't choose the white person because they're white. It has to be based on their experience and if they're right for the job or not. So the Equal Pay Act of 1970 is again on men and women. They must have the same pay. So it's basically men and women being paid equally. A lot of times it doesn't happen, but it has to be fair on the gender. The next one is the Disability Discrimination Acts of 1995 and 2005. So this is basically saying that you cannot discriminate someone with a disability, someone who cannot walk, someone with maybe a mental learning difficulty, and also it's basically saying you cannot this cannot become a factor when deciding if they should get the job or not. If they were to get the job, that you as a business would be expected to be able to make their life to make leniencies to help them, with day-to-day struggles that may occur to them which don't occur to other people. The next one is the European Working Time Direct, minimum working hours, which is basically talking about how much someone can actually work for the company. By law, men and women, anyone at the company, should have 24 hours rest each week, paid annual leave, the right to being safe at the workplace, and now that can mean especially sort of night shifts. This applies to McDonald's as well. Night shifts will often have increased security because of kind of the dangers, robberies, etc. The national minimum wage is another one. I think it's something like coming on to £6 now, which is basically making sure that even the smaller jobs are paid well, because these jobs everyone is at least paid the minimum wage because the minimum wage is put in place so they're able to survive. The next one is the Data Protection Act, which is basically discussing the right to privacy. For example, you cannot leak any information about your employees. This could be sort of anything from making so, for example, an email which discloses personal information such as medical records cannot be discussed cannot be leaked or discussed with anyone else. It's their information, it's their privacy. Next are the ethical issues, which often involve this can be a lot of things. It's quite a kind of difficult subject. So a few of them are Um, so so legislative requirements. So we're talking basically just requiring the business needs to have the requirements to deal with people, which I spoke about before, having the right sort of to being able to have the kind of being able to deal with that people with issues that yes, so people with mental health issues, people with different religious beliefs, they need to be able to be opening and accept that. This is also like LGBT, etc. Um, and also another thing for ethical issues is in the interview, uh, questions which are not actually related to the job. This could be medical questions, things like that, things that actually aren't necessary, but an interviewer might actually try and get away with asking anyway, which is wrong. Um, Another issue is the gender and ethnic balance on panels. So there at a workplace, there should be a balance between, um, you know, mixed race, white, black, because and also with men and women, because having a mixed environment actually creates a healthy sort of working place. Yeah, that's my P1 and P2. Thank you.